stupid people fight on paternity court.
I'ma own up to that. I did not want him to be the father, but my child sure do got a lot of features. He grew into it, but when he was born, it's genetic things. I asked Terrell about my son. I told him about it. Oh yeah, that's me. So if that ain't your baby, take your shoe off. Let me see your toes.
You wanna see my
Yeah,
toe?
let me see. Take them off. You got on, did you put on socks today?
You ain't do nothing for your own son, so I don't even know why you care. You didn't take care of him, so why are you worried about my child?
All right.
She don't know. She don't know.
A wife brought her husband to court, swearing her newborn baby was her hubby's, while he, on the other hand, was busy pointing fingers at Mr. Alfred, the alleged other man. Let's see how this mayhem unfolds.
You have no doubt that your 1-month-old daughter, Annabelle, is your husband's biological child. You only had sex with Mr. McDowell during the window of conception.
Yes, Your Honor.
You say your wife is nothing but a cheater, and you believe that the man she left you for, Mr. Alfred, is in fact Annabelle's father. You want out of this marriage.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Mrs. McDowell was playing a rather risky game, going from Mr. McDowell to Mr. Alfred, all while juggling a few other fellas for good measure. While the husband aired his wife's dirty laundry, the missus took the stage and shared an idea brought forth by hubby dearest that was a huge red flag. Only fair to see that, right?
The children we have lost their mother. I'm a single father at the moment. I'm taking care of them by myself. She just one day told me she was gonna go to her, and then she called me later that night and said she was gonna end up spending the night. Well, the next day, the female friend she went to go spend the night called me and said she walked into the home and caught her, Miss McDowell, her boyfriend, on the couch cuddling.
While that idea got shut down, but did that stop the defendant from narrating tales of drunken nights and misunderstood slumber parties? Not at all. The courtroom was on fire with distrust and resentment in the air. And these guys were not coming slow.
At some point in this marriage, I mean, no matter how messy, difficult it has been, you end up pregnant and you tell your husband?
Yes, Your Honor. Me and him had sex on October the 27th.
I do not recall that.
He's a liar, Your Honor.
And since then, she jumped from boyfriend to boyfriend, co-worker to co-worker.
Now, even the conception calendar, the baby daddy was not buying a word. And he had good reason to do so, claiming she plotted to fool his family into supporting her. And mommy had done it before too. Or so the defendant's witness claimed.
She told me from day one that it was his, like she's saying now. I believed her as a grandmother.
Well,
I'm gonna do.
So at first you believed.
Yes, ma'am.
I
I took her to the doctors. She called me wanting food. She called me wanting money. I done her and her boyfriend's laundry.
Grandma had a ton to talk about the baby mama. I guess being taken advantage of can do that to a person, huh? And by the looks of it, mommy indeed was living one such life if we were able to believe the defendant and their claims. Moreover, mommy didn't let this family come to the hospital but now claimed that the baby was theirs. Confusing? I think so.
I even give her and her boyfriend money to come and do stuff at my house just to earn money.
You knew it was her boyfriend or you found out later?
No, I knew it was her boyfriend. I tried to work it to where they could get back together because my thought, even though she's a but to me, they have 3 children together and she should be not on the street.
Oh, the tangled web continued as Mrs. McDowell introduced Mr. Alfred into the equation. Now, it was a party. To sum up their origins, Facebook rendezvous, few secret meetings, oral confessions, and voila! A spicy paternity mix. Who knew love triangles could be this complex?
November the 9th, I sat there and messaged him on Facebook, seeing if I can come over and chill with him and hang out. And then, yes, we ended up having sex that night.
First night,
While you're married?
Yes, Your Honor. He asked me to come back the next day, and I told him I would. Well, we ended up getting together that next day, which is November the 10th, and we had sex that day, too.
About time Mr. Alfred joined these guys and this whole fiasco. But boy, did he have crazy, shocking revelations regarding mommy. Would you believe that he thought the baby was neither his nor the defendant's? Well, he said that and more.
I don't believe me or Michael, either one or the father. I think it might be the gentleman that she was with before she tried to work things out with Michael.
What's interesting here is you say the baby's your husband says the baby's your lover, and your lover says the baby's by another.
So there were more than just these 2 contenders for the baby daddy's role. Boy, that's a lot of math to do and complicated as heck, right? I mean, how do you even begin to navigate through this? However, after all this, and Mr. Alfred still stood by the baby mama and that got her emotional.
I have
The
custody
first
of the
5 months
prior
of her
3
pregnancy,
kids.
she believed that it was Mr. McDowell's. Up until the 6th month on, she tried to claim that it was mine.
Exactly.
I personally believe
Exactly.
she just was trying to see who would take her in and support
Who would
her.
give her the most money and feed her better?
I don't believe the baby's mine. I hope the results are different. Like I said, we are in a relationship together.
Well, D-Day arrived as the DNA results were in. Tensions rose, emotions were laid bare, but the truth was about to hit them with full force. It's a verdict that will decide the fate of relationships and last names.
Mr. Alfred, you are her father.
Thank God.
Mom was right.
Well, get ready for a roller coaster of cheating and cyber deception. Fast forward to the paternity trial. The guy was married and not interested in fathering her child.
I ended up in a relationship with Terrell, and I wouldn't consider it a relationship. I would consider it friends with benefit. I was on Facebook, and he was always liking my pictures. He was commenting on my pictures. He was always trying to get attention, to be noticed. One day, excuse me, I'll let you talk.
Turns out this odd dynamic started with a love for rap. According to Mr. McKinley, was all head over heels for him because he had his music thing on. Huge claims. Let's see if the baby mama plays along with such a narrative.
I took him to the studio. We spit some bars. Make a long story short, we ended up dating, having sexual encounters. We protected ourselves majority of the time. I had been drinking, and we had messed around. I wasn't sober enough to make the right decisions, and he knew that.
That's a lie.
So he took advantage of that.
That's a lie.
Okay, so wait a minute.
Classic he said, she said unfolding here. According to the plaintiff, Mr. McKinley is 2 decades her senior. Who goes for an older dude, right? Good point, but wait, how did Mrs. McKinley catch wind of the whole saga?
He opened the door. I went in there. She laying in the bed, under the cover.
Whose house was this?
I took the cover off her
house
head,
was this?
and I'm like asking him, "What's going on?" He's like, "Well, we doing music. Sit down." I was like, "No, I won't sit down." And that's how I found out. I had an idea it was her. They on there flirting with each other on Facebook. I'm like, okay, I just had to put a picture to the face.
The alleged baby daddy, Miss Thompson, wasn't feeling her best. She made a smart move and headed to the hospital. Hold up though. The baby mama claims she was ready to do whatever it took to identify her child's daddy.
I called him in the hospital on the second day because I looked at my child and I said, dang, man, I'ma own up to that. I did not want him to be the father, but my child sure do got a lot of features. He grew into it, but when he was born, it's genetic things. I asked Terrell about my son. I told him about it. Oh, yeah, that's me. So if that ain't your baby, take your shoe off. Let me see your toes.
You want to see my
Yeah,
toe?
let me see. Take them off.
And if you think the drama was just about it, then you are wrong. Mr. McKinley was gearing up to twist the entire narrative. Miss McKinley introduces a curveball, a cryptic text unveiling the real daddy.
And it was this picture, and the caption was
Saying Legend's
Legend's
real
real father.
Yes,
Goodbye.
yes,
Goodbye.
I have nothing to hide. I did not say that. You can go ahead and prove it.
So
Go get it.
how do
Go
you
do
think
what
they
gotta
got
do.
this text if it didn't come from you?
This woman made a fake page. I have my page private. That's how I know it gotta be an app, because I
Oh,
didn't
you're
write it.
saying they made this.
And
They
you know,
created
right,
this.
They made it up because she made up a whole fake page.
That's the scoop. With enough theatrics captured, it's Judge Lake's moment to reveal the DNA results. Are they crafting beats in the studio, or is there a different mix at play? Let's find out.
Mr. McKinley, you are the father.
And he's a handsome baby. He get compliments all the time.
He is beautiful. In the spirit of that beauty and that innocence.
I don't want drama. I never did want drama. It just hurt me when I ask for something and they don't do it.
Got to love a paternity court episode for its share of family drama. In this one, Miss Knox is fed up with Mr. Bailey's persistent denial of being the father of baby Cash. And she's pointing the finger at his tight bond with his mama.
I had to struggle to take care of him alone. I paid for everything.
That's because you wanted to, little girl.
He quit his job, and in
He did
June
not
of
quit his
2014, I asked him, when will he start to pay for something? And he said he will.
I always had
July
a job.
13, 2014, when it came, he didn't have anything.
Now, shifting gears to Miss Bailey, who's not holding back either. Firing shots at Miss Knox, she claims Miss Knox is chasing after her son because of some gold-digging motives. According to Miss Bailey, Miss Knox's interest sparked only when her son hit it big with a dance career. Gold digger alert!
I had to buy wife car seat strollers. I haven't seen anything from it, Mr. Bailey.
Well, these are receipts for walker, car seat, baby expenses. They total $6,960.
Yes, ma'am.
Half of which is $3,480, which you say he would be responsible for.
Yes.
Miss Knox, though, came prepared with receipts. Judge Lauren dives in, questioning Mr. Bailey about his involvement when cash entered the world. His defense? Miss Knox supposedly took off to Texas, leaving him out of the loop.
I left to go to Texas because I needed help to raise my child. I couldn't go to your mother because your mother didn't even raise you.
Why do you think she left?
Only she knows the real reason why she left. I have evidence.
I'd like to see that evidence. What is this evidence, sir?
And I have evidence showing that you only got those things because I said I was going to put you on child support.
But hold on, Judge Lauren is puzzled. Mr. Bailey was there doing the pregnancy, even signed the birth certificate. So what's with the sudden paternity doubts? Did Miss Knox pull a fast one on him?
I just so happened to go through her phone. She was texting me and this little dude around the same time, telling us it was like the same conversations, right? The last text message said, I'm gonna come give you a hug and a kiss from the other guy. And my text message said, I'm on my way to come get you. So it's pretty much whoever got there first. If he would've got there first, if she was already pregnant, that probably would've been his baby.
Brace yourselves for a bombshell. Miss Bailey spills the beans, alleging that Miss Knox was already pregnant when she met Mr. Bailey. According to her, it's a paternity trap. Time to unravel this messy situation.
She met my son in October. Either way, whether it was November or December, it don't matter, little girl. It don't add up. She never one time got out of the bed. She's always covered up. So when I see her, she's like maybe in between here.
So you're saying she looked like she was 5 or 6 months pregnant
when I physically saw her, when she told me she was 3 months.
Miss Bailey continues claiming that every visit to Miss Knox revealed her hiding under the sheets, concealing a 5-month pregnancy. From day one, she warned her son about Miss Knox.
Every time we want to see cash, if you give me a case of diapers, you can see cash.
The reason why I don't give them to him because their house is not even properly, it's not even a house. I still don't trust my child with you because you didn't raise your own child, so I have a problem with
you are a liar,
If you didn't raise
girl.
your own kids, why would I freely give my child to you?
Looks like it's shaping up to be a Knox versus Bailey showdown. Mr. Bailey appears unbothered, indifferent to the outcome. Before chaos takes over, Judge Lauren calls for the moment of truth, asking Jerome to bring in the results.
Mr. Bailey, you are Cash's father.
That's my son. I'm gonna move forward, you know, what I gotta do as a father, and I'm not gonna let her bring me down, but just keep doing what I'm doing, because I know the truth.
You both are gonna have to figure out how to parent this child.
A paternity mystery that's been going on for a whopping 34 years. Miss Krieger thinks Mr. Dittmer's denial of being a dad is as believable as spotting the Loch Ness Monster. On the flip side, he says he got tricked into paying child support and now wants payback.
I had to pay $300 more to get out of jail, and when I went and talked to the court clerk told me that by paying the $300 that I admitted guilt, and I got stuck paying child support for the rest of Jamie's life.
And you don't believe she's your biological child?
I do have my doubts.
Hold on, folks, because it's about to get wild. The baby mama starts showing pictures, but Mr. Lee isn't buying it. He boldly accuses her of trickery throughout his life. And trouble? Nah, more like a disaster in paradise.
The older two children have blue eyes and blonde hair.
And you never claimed them or paid child support on them.
Because you didn't tag them and you never had me sign
If you were a man and responsible,
certificate.
you would have signed the birth certificate.
I didn't want the children in the first place. You was the one that wanted marriage and babies.
Oh, the doubts and questions about Miss Krieger's pregnancy. Despite having 2 more kids together, Mr. Dittmer, the doubtful dad, feels betrayed, like Jon Snow in Game of Thrones.
She's the one that looks different than the older children. The older children have blonde hair, blue eyes. Jamie has dark hair, hazel or brown eyes.
Every child is different.
Well, why would she trick me into paying child support like that, Your Honor? I wasn't even at the hospital when Jamie was born.
You most certainly were.
Moving on, we hear from the daughter about when she found out. But before she finishes, Mr. Lee jumps in, claiming Miss Lee switched her relationship status and accusing the baby mama of going off the pill. Yikes!
I fought for 2 years to get visitation to see these children. She kept saying that I would kidnap the kids, that she'd never see them again. It took me 2 years to get visitation, then they gave me supervised visitation.
No, it was your drinking. I wasn't gonna let my little children go with you drunk.
Now the he said, she said battle begins. Both sides accuse each other of cheating and more. Some of it's true, but the baby daddy insists it's not about the money. He pays child support.
They said I owed $13,000 at that time. Only $3,000 was owed in child support, that the rest of it was administrative fees, interest, and surcharges. I paid it off to get it off my back so they'd leave me alone.
You paid the amount of $6,500
Yes, ma'am.
to settle your child support debt.
Yes, ma'am.
Next up, the daughter talks about the good and bad things the supposed baby daddy did. But he also did some mean stuff, like telling people he wasn't her father and their grandpa. Seriously, man?
He told my daughter's dad that I wasn't his, and I had to hear about it, which is pretty embarrassing.
No, I never told
What
her.
happened?
I told my middle child's dad, you guys were drinking, yes, but still, if you said it, then you feel it, and you shouldn't be telling my friends and stuff. It's one thing to say it to me.
Finally, the daughter lets out all the emotions from these years. She tells how tough her life has been, with the defendant acting like a heartless. However, the big moment, folks, Miss Jamie wants answers and Judge Lake has them. Get ready, because this was a wild ride full of emotions. Here we go!
Mr. Dittmer, you are her father. Mr. Dittmer, how do you feel?
I feel kind of relieved, Your Honor. I'm glad that she is, but her mother put such a doubt in my mind back then. She was always messing around, you know.